This is our mini bike project. It is a 97cc 4-stroke powered Doodlebug. I believe the model number is DB30. It does have a VIN, and I looked that VIN up, and it is an off-road only VIN, so no real chance of registering it here in Virginia and trying to ride it on the streets. But the VIN did tell me that it is a 2007 model. The little 97cc motor is somewhat clapped out. The clutch is wore slam out. The only thing I've done to it since I've purchased it secondhand was create a new tensioner for the chain. This one works a lot better. Removed the fender and a few other pieces, and I did the quick sprocket change rear adapter. That way we can change it for top end or low end grunt. Now our goal here is to remove the 97cc motor in place of a small block. Now I know what some of you gearheads are thinking. Small block, is he talking about like a Chevy 350 or Ford 302? No. In the mini bike world, a small block, I believe, if my research is correct, is anything that's 300 cc's and below. So we're going to go for a Harbor Freight Predator 212, which by definition in the mini bike world is a small block. We're going to be putting a torque converter on it, see what she does, and if we need to, we can swap that sprocket out. I've got a few of them in the garage. We can go bigger. I believe that's the smallest one I have now. I'll count the teeth and let you know. And put some new tires on it. And of course do, what we do here at Haslip Cycle Works, and we will customize it. So follow along as we stuff a small block into our little Doodlebug. Before we can put this beauty in here, we've got to pull the old lug out. First step for that is to remove our kill switch. Wiring, remove the chain, and we have to remove our throttle cable. Nothing too complicated. If you guys have any questions about mini bikes in general, or the Predator 212s, torque converters, the bigger 420cc Predators, the 670s, go-kart stuff, I'm gonna suggest that you go and check out my friend Redbeard's Garage, his channel. Guy is on point with all that information. He's got some amazing builds. He's got motor builds. He's got how-tos. He's got tech talks. I mean, anything related to that field is his forte. So give him a look. And if you need more technical breakdown on what we're doing, because I'm just going to kind of give like a high level overview, We'll get it done and we'll show the results. But if you need more technical, in-depth explanations for things and details on how to do what we're about to do, definitely go check out his channel. And for those of you who notice that this is a stock 212, don't worry, it's going to get upgraded. You know how we do here. The 212 is going to stay stock for now until it's broken in. Once it's broken in, we'll clean it all out. We'll go for some performance goodies, some purchased from online retailers, and some that we will make ourselves. Because, again, that's how we do here at Haslip Cycle Works. So stay tuned. I'm going to start breaking into this thing, and yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see, we pulled the old 97cc motor out, along with its mounting plate. And I didn't get it on camera, but I went ahead and drilled the holes for our new mounting plate, which is this billet piece here from Hot Rod Minibikes. It's the Pro Mod adapter plate. It goes from the Doodlebug to the Predator 212. Comes with all the hardware, the plate, and some really good instructions. So we'll go ahead and clean the dust off of this and bolt it into our Doodlebug. Bolted our Pro Mod adapter plate from HotRodMinibike.com to our chassis. Looks pretty good. It's a real nice billet piece, and the hardware is great, and most of it's captured, so you, like these bolts here, you just have the nut on the underside to worry about. You don't have to worry about getting a wrench on this. They've in these slots that they've milled out. It's pretty smart. I don't think we're going to need our chain tensioner, at least not as the way it sits now with our new setup, so I'm going to go ahead and unbolt that. And I am keeping all the hardware in a bag, so that if I do have to put something back, I know where it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and then I guess we'll try to test fit that small block 212 and see if she fits. So I got the 212 dropped in on the mount on the bolts that come with the plate. The plate for the torque converter should fit in right there, but if you see the tensioner bracket and this little cross member that was used to hold the fender and the chain guard on are in the way, so I may have to actually cut those off and smooth the frame out. And once we know that this is, I mean, we know it's going to work. I'm going to make this work. But once we test run it and make sure everything's good, I may pull the motor back out and weld in a piece of tubing from here to the other side of the frame, just to regain that structural rigidity that we had provided by this. But just to test it out, I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and zip these couple things off, and then retest fit our torque converter plate. Cut out our cross member that was in the way and our chain tensioner tab. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and smoothed the frame out for the most part. As you can see, I've snugged down our torque converter back plate, and we're running into an issue right here. You can see the torque converter back plate is hitting that engine plate. The motor is not down all the way as it should be. You can see that gap. So we're going to have the clearance right through here to make sure that that motor sits down where it should and that the torque converter back plate sits like it should. And that's no big deal. I'm just going to take my angle grinder with a abrasive wheel, just kind of notch that out. And you don't want any sharp corners because of the vibration on these motors. Any sharp edges or corners can lead to cracks, so you want to make sure that you round out any corners that you're creating when you grind this thing down. Now I have notched out our torque converter cover. Gives us plenty of room, and if we need to move the motor forward or reverse to tension the chain, there's plenty of clearance for that. And as you can see, the motor is sitting flat on the plate. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and assemble the torque converter. Do that to manufacturer specs and per their directions. We've got our torque converter bolted up and torqued to spec. I've got our chain on now. Put oil in it and check the level. These things ship almost dry, so before you even try to fire them up, whatever's in there, drain out and put some fresh oil in there and check your level. I've put some fuel in it. Throttle cable is hooked up. Everything looks like it's good to go. And just a recommendation for you guys, for your go-karts and mini bikes or any 4-cycle motors that you don't run very often, pick yourself up some of this True Fuel. It's made specifically for 4-cycle engines, and it's ethanol free, and it is, I want to say, high test, so 93 octane, and it's already got a stabilizer built in. So if, no, 92 octane, sorry, no ethanol, it's 92 octane. It's already got the stabilizer built into it, so you can put this in a tank for something that you don't run that often, and you don't have to worry about it gumming up the carburetor or collecting water and getting nasty in the tank. So good stuff. Get that at hardware store, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, pretty much anywhere that sells power equipment will have that. It's good stuff. I don't have the seat back on yet. I just want to go ahead and try to fire it up and make sure we got everything good and we're not leaking anything. So let me set you guys down and I'm gonna crank up on her and see if she'll run. All right, wish me luck. Looks like everything runs good. I'm going to go ahead and get the seat on it and take her for a spin. I got the seat on, and as you can see, I've got some 1-inch spacers in there. Just only reason for that is to give me a little bit more room when I go to take the fuel cap off to fill this thing up. It's not even broken yet, and I just took it for a spin. And if you're planning on doing this for a small child or even a teenager or someone who's never ridden before, don't. This thing is super wheelie happy. This thing cruising along at 20 or so. I'll have to get the GPS speedometer on my phone so you guys can see this. If you crack this throttle wide open, the front end is coming off the ground. You do not sit very far back on this seat. because you are going to eat it. So you've been warned. As you can see, I've even got a small sprocket on the rear. This thing's crazy. The first time I cracked the throttle on it, I said, holy shit. Yeah, this thing is no joke now. Definitely need new tires, front and rear, and probably new brake pads. Wow, yeah, this thing is nuts. I'm gonna take it easy on it and get some break-in time on it. I'm gonna go through and double check all my fasteners. You always want to go through after you've done something like this and check all your fasteners. Make sure nothing's vibrating loose, and then I'll have to get the torque converter cover on, because your leg is very, very close to this belt and pulley system. It'd suck big time to get your pants leg stuck in that and then get your calf drug through that thing. Not a good time at all. But I will get the cover modified, and I'll get that put on there, and I'm going to go in and actually put on my helmet and gloves and see if I can figure out how to get the GPS speedometer to show up in a video for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. But initial impressions is, holy crap, this thing gets. So, as you can see, we definitely got that small block in there. She runs, and she runs well. And there will be more videos to come on this mini bike, because we are going to do some performance upgrades. I'm going to put new tires on it, modify the seat. There's a few things in the pipe for this. So if you like this video, stay tuned. There will be more. And just a reminder, you're taking a mini bike that was made for smaller kids to something that's no longer safe for kids, let alone young adults. So just keep that in mind. It is fun, it is fast, it is dangerous. Isn't that what really draws us to it? So until next time, get up, get out there, and do it.